interceptions and sacks. Philly, your mic is hot.
I think the interceptions just get on the same page as my receivers. I think, like I just said, is I'm gonna take those chances when I'm out of the pocket or I see a guy down the field with a chance. I'm gonna pull the trigger. I've never been wired to hesitate, and I can put it in a better spot. I can give these guys better opportunities. But just being smart and I'll have to watch the tape and see some of the other things. But I'm gonna stay aggressive. I'm not gonna change who I am, but I can just protect it better.
Wondering if it's mental with him. Who knows? Max,
I figured it out, by the way. It's the hats. Him, Cam, whenever you wear a hat, like that kind of hat, it's apparently...
Those hats.
I love hats. Fall fashion. I'm all about accessories. All right, producers are getting mad at me. Max, how long should the Eagles stick with Wentz?
Well, look, until they have a backup who can play long term, right? Is Jalen Hurts going to be that guy? I suspect they haven't seen much in practice, which is why they haven't already made the move. But I'll say this. There's precedent in team history for benching your franchise quarterback mid-season and then coming back from that and it resetting the franchise and the quarterback's mentality. That was Donovan McNabb, who got benched for a game and came back and led the team after the benching to the NFC Championship game. It's happened before. I would have to consider something like that if I were the Eagles. Wentz was awful, again. Dan, you can say whatever you want about how, no, he was playing well and he wasn't playing well, but when everyone was talking about, is he in the MVP conversation in the second half of last year, I was saying what I was seeing. Mid-pack quarterback making terrible decisions, most of the game poor decisions, poor execution, poor ball security. How many times do you have to turn the ball over in Eagles territory? Is he trying to set the record this year? Does he already have it? The guys are coming, safeties are free coming to get you, and you hold the ball forever. You can throw it away. Dan, we were talking about it. Collinsworth even points it out on the broadcast. It's terrible. He makes one throw, as I've been saying now for months, one Patrick Mahomes level throw a game where you go, oh my God. 3 or 4 other really good ones, and then the rest are questionable. Execution, decision-making. I don't know what you like. I think it's time to sit him down. Not that Hurts can do better right now, but I will point out Hurts is on the team because Howie Roseman in the front office saw the same thing I saw at the end of last year, which is why they drafted a quarterback in the second round. That's not working out so far, but that's why they did it. I would also propose that they should consider, if there was a taker, say, in Chicago, even a quarterback swap. Not that Nick Foles has been playing well, he wasn't. Not that Nick Foles is the answer to the Eagles' problems. Right now, he isn't. He can't make a bad team great. He's not that he doesn't have Wentz's talent, to be honest. But unlike Trubisky, Wentz can throw the ball down the field, not only move. He can throw the ball down the field. That's what they need without an offensive line. And Foles would allow the Eagles a guy who can at least not make those kind of decisions Wentz is making, but more than that, get out from under Wentz's contract. They could, Foles does not make big money really compared to Wentz, and they could get out from under the contract. I would consider that if I were the Eagles. Mainly, what they need to be thinking about right now is how to get Wentz right, and I think it's time to bench him. If not, I think I don't see what else you can do with this guy right now.
Well, benching him doesn't mean getting rid of him, number one. Number two, like you said, Jalen Hurts is your backup and he ain't ready. So you can't think about benching him. You got to do something to get his mind right. Get him with a sports psychologist. Do something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell you can do with him. But I will tell you this. It hasn't been impressive. There is no doubt about it. Over the last 4 games.
Hold your thought 1 second. Your mic's a little messed up. Is it? Just check it real quick. There's a lot of static.
No, I don't know why. I'm fine.
All right. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for that. But I would tell you that the last 4 games, he's completed 57, 52, 58, and 55% of his passes. Last night, he had 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost. He had less yards thrown, less yards passing than Ben DiNucci. Now, and let's put that in its proper perspective. Ben DiNucci, a third-string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, who wasn't supposed to see any time at all except practice, is starting his first game, even though he didn't complete a higher percentage because he was 21 of 40. The bottom line is he threw for more yards than Carson Wentz. And I think, and this is the only point that I want to say, and then I'll leave it to you two because you two, I love watching y'all go at each other. But I do think it's important to mention this, and especially since Max mentioned what he mentioned. If this were Donovan McNabb, what would we be saying?
Oh, Lord.
Donovan McNabb is the number 2 overall pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a guy that was booed coming out of Syracuse by folks in Philadelphia because they didn't want him. He went to about 5 NFC championship games. He went to a Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb, I don't recall Donovan McNabb ever looking this bad. Ever. And I'm telling you as a former writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer, if Donovan McNabb had a stretch of games that Carson Wentz has had, you would be having a city calling for him to be gone. They'd want him out of town. He wouldn't be able to walk the streets. Instead of just me. Yeah. That's right, instead of just you. He would not be able to walk the streets of Philadelphia. Yet Carson Wentz gets to go up in a press conference, I'm still going to do me. I'm still going to fling that football. I'm still going to take my chances. I'm telling you right now. And that is what drives folks like Donovan McNabb crazy. Remember when Max and Dan, I told y'all in the past how many Hall of Famers that I've spoken to, and they would all talk about how Stephen A., don't let folks off the hook. Hold them to the same standard you would hold us to. That's Donovan McNabb. He ain't going to say so publicly, maybe not. But that's him. He'd be like, if that were me, what would y'all do? And I think that's what Philadelphia and Eagles fans everywhere need to ask themselves right now.
McNabb if it were Donovan McNabb, where he had less than Wentz around him.
We heard you.
And he justified the contract.
If you're going to do it, hold him to the same standard. That's the issue right now.
All right, so those are fair comments. This is what I would say. I want to go and kind of touch on the 4 turnovers and which ones I think, I have issues with. All right, so the second fumble.
4 of them, choose.
So the second fumble. I have no issue with that fumble. It's 4th and 3. You're going to get hit anyway. You're turning the ball over 4 yards shorter than you actually turned it over because of that fumble. I hated the play call. You rushed out of the huddle. The play clock is getting wound down, and all of a sudden you just try to get your snap off. So I don't have a huge issue with that one. The first Diggs interception, when he's outside the pocket and he's trying to throw it to Rager, scraping across the kind of this one right here. I don't love this decision. I'll be honest with you. I don't love the decision, but I see what he sees. He's trying to throw that ball to a spot where Rager can go get it. He misses that spot, and it becomes the pick. This interception, I have no issue with. It's quarters coverage. You got to launch your ball down the field and give Hightower a chance to go make that play. Collinsworth pointed out he thought the ball drifted. I have no idea. I don't have the angle of it, but that's the right throw. It's the right decision. You got to go maybe you pull them 2 feet more, but Hightower and Diggs are going to go have an opportunity ball. So those 3, I'm not sitting here going, dude, that has to stop. You have to stop those turnovers for those 3. The first fumble is moronic. It's inexcusable. It's unacceptable. I thought Collinsworth did a great job of pointing out no one's on the field. And here's my thing with Carson. And it's getting difficult to stand up here every day on Monday and have his back. But I'll continue to do it because I do believe that he's a special player. I'm tired of you going into post-game press conferences and saying you just have to be smarter. No, duh. My kid's 8 years old and plays flag football. He knows he has to be smarter. Eventually it can't be, I just got to be smarter. It has to stop being words and start being actions. It has to be. Because the reality is this. You're either going to smartly play your team into the playoffs because the division is so bad, or stupidly play your team out of the playoffs. And so for that reason, it's not time yet. It's not time yet because the only chance this team has to go to the playoffs is for Carson Wentz to play like he has in 4 games this year, where he's played really good football. But get rid of all the lows.
He has not played really good football in 4 games.
Yes, he has, Max.
That's absurd.
He played good against San Francisco. He played good against Baltimore. Played good against Pittsburgh.
Ridiculous, Dan.
No, it's not, Max.
Every single one. Okay, how many times
I wish I had a game tape right here, right now.
How many times has Carson Wentz had a better quarterback rating than his opponent this year? How many times? We just answered the question.
Max,
how many
yesterday
times?
we watched the reigning.
How many times has Carson Wentz had a better quarterback rating than his opponent this year?
I don't know.
0.
Okay, I don't pay attention to QBR.
0.
Yesterday we watched Lamar Jackson.
This year, he hasn't played an all-star lineup.
Yesterday we watched Lamar Jackson,
had a better quarterback
the
rating.
reigning league MVP, be terrible against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He hasn't had a single good game this year, Carson Wentz.
Dude, was Lamar bad yesterday against the Steelers?
He's turned the ball over.
Answer my question.
He's turned the ball over 10
Max,
times.
answer his question.
Answer my
10 times
question.
in Eagles
Okay,
territory in 8 games.
answer his
Answer my question.
What's the question?
Was Lamar awful against the Steelers last?
Yes, he was bad.
Was Carson